Tyler Creator versus DJ Khaled had to be one of the most iconic moments of Tyler's career. For this whole beef to make sense, we gotta go back years. Tyler had been making music for a minute. I'm talking about late 2000s. He started Our Future, a collective that kind of changed the whole generation by itself. But that's his own story. Fast forward a few years though, when his music really started to pick up, he had always been making different music. Always his music was different from the norm. And this was at the start of his career. And so from that moment forward, his music being different was just gonna be a part of him. That wasn't going nowhere. And when him dropping all these basically all albums throughout the years, it made these regular artists that act like they the hardest thing on the planet would treat him like he was an outcast. They treated him like he weird, and to be honest, that was weird, but that's besides the point. Let's get to around 2017 where all the problems kind of came. For years at this point, he had been fighting for a #1 album. Every time he dropped, his albums would always come so close, but it would never happen. And the thing is, he was doing numbers for real. His 2017 Flyboy album sold 106,000 copies first week, but that album was facing a lot of competition. When this album dropped, he was facing a lot of big artists. Lana Del Rey, Meek Mill, both dropped that same week. And look, this is 2017. Meek was hot. The album he dropped sold 102,000. And for that week, this how the top three went. Lana Del Rey, 107,000. Flower Boy, 106,000. And Meek, 102,000. Think about how he lost this #1 album. But with this situation, Tyler had wanted that #1 real bad. He was public about it. And he kind of set a goal for himself for, look, this next project I drop, it gotta go #1. But look, even though he did lose that battle, it wasn't all bad. Eventually, Flower Boy did go 2 times platinum. And the main reason I'm telling y'all all of this is because where it lead to. It take us right to him and DJ Khaled. 2 years after his Flyboy project, he dropped one of his most controversial albums to date, Igor. Not because he said something controversial, but because of everything that happened after the project. This album came out and he presented it as something people ain't never heard before. This ain't Bastard, this ain't Goblin, this ain't Wolf, this not Cherry Bomb. This is Igor. Don't go in expecting a rap album. Don't go in expecting any album. Just go, just jump in. I believe the first listen worked the best all the way through. No skips, front to back. No distractions either. No checking your phone, no watching TV, no holding convo. Full attention toward the sound, where you can form your own opinions and feelings toward the album. Some go on walks, some drive, some lay in the bed and sponge it all up. Whatever you choose, fully indulge with volume. As much as I would like to paint a picture and tell you my favorite moments, I would rather for you to do it on your own. You can kind of see the vision he had. You can see where he was going with this album. It wasn't going to be something normal, but at the same time, he was getting ready to drop this not so normal album. Someone was getting ready to drop a normal album. I don't even mean it in a disrespectful way. I mean, you can clearly tell which one was real experimental and which one was just some regular radio music. DJ Khaled, this man done came from a long history of dropping hits on hits and songs that people is gonna remember forever, and that's just a fact. But all the way back in March 2018, he announced the name of his next album, The Father of Asahd, and he even dropped a couple singles for the album. But remember, this project came out in 2019, so for about a year, the tape was just floating around. And in March 2019, the nigga finally got around to dropping a release date and actually starting the rollout for the album. But that release date had a problem. It happened to be on the same day Igor's dropping, May 17th, 2019. But the thing is, Tyler didn't announce the project yet. So DJ Khaled had this whole album ready to drop, not having a clue that Tyler was dropping, because Tyler waited until May 9th, 2019 to announce the project. So people was probably thinking Tyler was cooked. Think about it. DJ Khaled announced an album and a track list filled with the biggest names in the industry ever. Post Malone, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Justin Bieber, Travis Scott. I could keep going on. Just know this album was packed with some of the biggest names across the industry. And like I said, this had to have people wondering, like, how can Tyler even compete with something like this? Out of all the times he could have chose to drop an album, he chose one of the biggest, most packed projects of the year. But it was too late for all that. What was done was done. Tyler picked that date. He locked the album in. It was gonna come out. And so time comes, both albums dropped. And people started to form their own opinions. People was loving Tyler's album, but Khaled's not so much. Let me just read you a couple of reviews. DJ Khaled album review had this to say: one of the Met albums I received an early advance copy of recently. Features Drake, who has his own standalone song to shine. Will definitely be on the hot charts when released. And all these other artists, including singles, No Brainer, Top Off, a lot of mediocre features, but mid over the top songs. Best song on the album, Khaled, Nipsey, John Legend. Not Khaled's best album, but I would say it's alright. Father Rashad falls flat on his death, and while the beats are great, some features are downright poor considering a guy with a high budget, and his album is penalized depending on DJ Khaled's response. But at the same time it was getting hate, some people did enjoy it. I'm betting actual money that there's some people that's gonna hate on this for no reason when it's really a masterpiece. So the reviews was real mixed on the project. Now on the other side, we had Tyler album that came with a completely different reception. One comment: the perfect album. This album helped me so much in my low times. Tyler a musical genius because of the way he can make more than just one genre of music and still get praised for it. All of his other albums was amazing, but this takes the cake. And look, me personally, I'm gonna keep it 100. If you haven't listened to Igor, even if you've seen it get memed over the years, you need to really sit down and listen to this project in order after this vid. Whether or not you like Tyler, you just gotta give it a try. And throughout the release week of the album, it was real obvious what album people was feeling with. And when they got to DJ Khaled, that his album was projected to chart at #2 on Billboard, oh my god, that man ain't know how to act. He started panicking. An article wrote this about him: Khaled stormed into Epic with an entourage, an anonymous source told Page 6. He was angry and yelling. He threw a temper tantrum. Another industry insider said he was furious. There was some real nasty stuff said publicly. He's all about positivity, but there is a mean side to him that people don't see. He overhyped the record and blew it up as his biggest album ever. But Khaled couldn't really handle the fact that his album somehow got put below this different type of music he didn't seem to understand. But the anger didn't just stop at Tyler. It kind of went to Billboard. Basically, Khaled thought he had the message. Khaled got tapped in with his company, right? And they started selling energy drinks. And with every single energy drink bought, Khaled would in turn get an album sale. And even to me, a regular nigga, that didn't even sound like it would work. And when Billboard didn't count the 100,000 downloads from the energy drinks to his first week sales, he was heated. And when he officially debuted at #2, he was just letting the world know how he felt.
I make albums so people can play it and you actually hear it. You know, driving your car, you hear another car playing it. You know, go to the barbershop, you hear them playing it. You know, turn the radio on and you hear them playing it. You know, it's playing everywhere. It's called great music. It's called albums that you actually hear the songs. Not no mysterious shit and you never hear it on your dome.
#2 won't do for Khaled. He was not happy when the album didn't debut at #1. Not happy at all. And it got to a point where Khaled was threatening to sue Billboard over the whole bundles energy drink situation. Khaled had Rock Nation even stepping in, speaking on the situation. We dispute their decision on behalf of Khaled, and frankly, every artist who is forced to navigate bundling an album with an inexpensive item that still effectively represents their brand is confusing and demeaning to the art. We obviously not fans of bundling, nor should anyone who cares about artists making music, but our hands are being forced by Billboard's desperate last-ditch effort to keep streaming from eliminating what's left of music download. But at the same time, he did kind of have a right to be mad, even though he was selling energy drinks, because Tyler also had bundles. But instead of a little energy drink, they was t-shirts. Now I can't sit here and tell you exactly why they disqualified Khaled, but I can only assume that this nigga was trying to sell energy drinks as something to go with his album. And really over the next few weeks, Tyler was just trolling. He did an interview with Apple and had this to say on the situation. There's no disrespect to Khaled or anyone, but he had every single person in the industry on that album. Everyone. Cardi B, 21, Post Malone, Beyonce, Jay-Z, everyone who sells billions of records. And the fact that I beat him with this isn't parallel to all the popping music that's being made right now. Like, bro, are you serious? Like, that was insane to me, and it's new to me. It's work, it's effort. Whether niggas like it or not, it's so much work and detail put into this. But the biggest thing about this situation was how people looked and perceived DJ Khaled. Remember the thought around him during this time, oh, he just this funny guy on the internet who in the music industry. But he showed the world who he really was as a person. And it kind of brought the thought the world had about him for years to the front. What does DJ Khaled even do? See, with Igor, right? Tyler produced and wrote every single song himself. On the cover of Igor, it says produced, wrote, and arranged by Tyler. While on the other hand, if you take a quick look through Khaled's album, every single song has at least 1 to 3 producers, and there is no song where Khaled was a solo producer. Now, I'm not finna take any work away that he done did, because who knows how much work he really put into this music, but the way it was presented, you can definitely tell who kind of put more work into each project. Khaled even said himself in an interview that he's basically an executive producer. The people around him make the beats, make the music, he puts it out. He picks who's on what song. He picks who's here, who's there. And that's what people was on him about. A lot of the internet basically said, how can you, someone who just executively produced this album, speak on Tyler's project when he did everything himself? One comment said this: imagine having a tantrum because other people's talent didn't take you to the top every time, even though you way more rich, famous, and successful than you deserve. Another said, right? He sounds like Nicki Minaj when she jumped on Travis Scott. Ultimately, the Billboard and award shows hardly really honor those who truly deserve. And considering DJ Khaled is more of a hype man than an artist, he's lucky to be as successful as he is, considering there's talented people out here doing what he doing, making their own music with little to no feature and getting no recognition for it. And the crazy thing is, after all that controversy, after all that hating DJ Khaled was doing, Tyler won the Grammy for Igor. And really, other than Tyler trolling a little bit over the years, that was the end of their beef. Until it was time for Tyler to drop again. He dropped album with #1 and he hopped right on Twitter trolling about the whole mysterious music thing. And really since then, Tyler just been cool.
First off, I'm hyped. Thank you to DJ Drama. You are so important to rap music. Grills. Thank you to all of my friends for being my cheerleaders. Thank you to my whole team, the whole squad. Vic, Neil, thank you. Where I could just make an album where I just flex all goddamn day. Inspired helping rap off the album and getting it done. And thank you to Stin picked it up again. And I know you're seething and angry and no one listens to that album. These arena tours that are selling out says different. And if you put that much energy into something, maybe everyone will be proud of you too. Call me if you get lost. Definitely not finished. And 12 years in, got a second one. Didn't expect it. So let's see what is next. I do not know what the I'm gonna do, but figuring that out. Thank y'all.
But a few months ago, Khaled came out basically telling the world that they beef was done for. A journalist named Jeff wrote this: Khaled tells me that he would want to work with Tim and surprisingly Tyler the Creator. I am happy the beef ended on a positive note and that they separated themselves from the negativity. Unlike the artist from our last video, Comethazine, he came into the scene so loved, but as time went on, his fans kind of figured out how he was as a person and they really turned on. And what happened in his career is on screen right now.